Today we've got something a little bit different for you. I'm making an apple burek, which in Serbo-Croatian is pita sa jabukama. It's a dessert that's made of phyllo pastry, apples, and some spices and walnuts. You only need a handful of ingredients and it's super easy to make. So before we get started on the apples, we just need to preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius or 390 degrees Fahrenheit. Now to kick things off, we just need to core the apples and grate them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them in half. I'm going to leave the skins on because I actually find that it doesn't make any difference in how they taste. So this is how I do it. I know I'm doing it handhold, but I just find it the easiest way to do. So now we're just going to grate the apples. I'm just using my food processor, but you can do it by hand. I just find that it's much quicker to do it in your food processor. Done. So before we add the walnut halves to the apple mix, we just need to crush them slightly. So what I do is I pop them into a little plastic bag. So I reuse these ones all the time and I seal it nicely, but I release as much air as possible. Spread them out. Put them in a tea towel because it's easier. It actually helps so that the bag doesn't break, and just give it a really good smash. Quite therapeutic. So this is what they should look like. So just in smaller pieces. So we just add that to the apples. And then to that we add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon powder, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. I use coconut sugar, but you can use whatever sugar you like. Now I'm only using 2 tablespoons because the apples themselves are quite sweet. So just depending on the type of apple that you can use less or more. So if the apples are more tart, add in an extra couple of tablespoons of sugar. But it really depends on how sweet you like your desserts as well. So just give this a good stir until it's all well combined. Okay. So now we've got the phyllo pastry out and we need 18 sheets, and this is about the width that I've got mine. Now you can just buy this at any supermarket. Most supermarkets will have it in the freezer or fridge section. I normally get mine from the fridge. It doesn't keep for as long, but I normally buy it just when I need to use it. We're now going to assemble the burek. So we're going to start by oiling, just with any neutral oil, the base of our baking dish. So I've just got a round ceramic baking dish here. They're ideal for this type of dish. We'll go up the sides as well. So oil is going to be crucial in this component, and how we actually assemble it to how much air is going to be built into the burek and how it'll turn out with texture as well. So we'll start off, so we oil the dish first and then we'll oil 2 layers of the pastry. So just a thin layer of oil. Just do it quite roughly. So that's going to be the base, the part that holds the burek in shape. Okay, so I'll add that to the dish. Then we just push it down and just let it stick so the oil will stick to it. And now we'll do one in the opposite direction so that we have the whole base covered. So we'll oil another sheet of phyllo pastry. Now I'm pretty sure that all phyllo pastry is vegan, but just double check the ingredients on the packet before you buy. So I'm just using grapeseed oil here. But as I said, you can use any other oil as well. So now I'm going to line it in the other direction and just have that little bit hanging out. So we just press it against. And now we're going to start with the apple. So this apple mixture will equate to 4 different layers. So just keep that in mind when you're layering each one. So I just like to use my hands here because I just find it easier to spread. So I'll just take a good handful of it and spread it all over the bottom. And don't forget the corners as well. Spread it out as evenly as you can. And then next will be another, so we'll do 4 layers of phyllo pastry here. Now oiling them gives it just that little bit of extra moisture. You'll get a bit of moisture from the apples because of the apple juice from when you grated them, but you just want that little bit of extra moisture in there, and the fat just makes it taste better too. So we'll take that oiled sheet and we'll just slightly scrunch it up. And I'm gonna get 4 sheets on this layer, so I'll just sort of create space for each one. So we just repeat this process until those apples underneath are completely covered. So we've covered now the first layer with the phyllo pastry, and we'll just add another layer of apples on top of that. Spread it out evenly. Don't have massive clumps of apples anywhere. So we just keep repeating that process for the next layer. So just remember, we're trying to create those slight air pockets as well when we're doing this. So 2 more on this one, and then we'll add apples again. And just repeat that process until you've run out of apples and you've only got 2 phyllo sheets left. So now we've just got our last layer of apples. So just to spread them out. And you'll probably have a bit of apple juice at the bottom, that's fine. Just pour that over evenly. So when you've added the last layer of apples, what we need to do is fold in the edges. They might be a little bit crispy. They would have dried up. And then we add 2 more sheets over the top. So I'll just give them an oil like the rest of them. And I'll fold this one in half and add it on that side, and we'll actually tuck it in underneath. So if you can go along the shape of your baking dish and just tuck it in. We'll just do 1 more. We'll tuck that one in as well. Sorry, go this way. And we'll tuck it in on that side there. And now, if you see any dry patches, just pat a little bit of oil over the top. just to finish it off. It helps to just push it down to seal it a bit more. So now we're just going to pop it in the oven for 45 to 50 minutes until it's nice and golden brown at the top. So this has been sitting out for about an hour now. It's still nice and warm on the outside, and that's how I actually prefer it. It's cooled down enough so it has collapsed a little bit, but it'll still have those beautiful puffs of pastry inside with the walnuts scattered through with the apples and the cinnamon and that hint of vanilla extract. It's actually really beautiful, and you'll hear that slight crunch of the phyllo pastry as you bite into it. So for the full recipe, you can pop over to theminimalistvegan.com, and we'll link it also into the description below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really means a lot when you do. Until next time, happy cooking. You're mean. So